Hello, Mags here again. I've been asked to do a video on how I do my little doodles and colour them with infusions, PaperArtsy Infusions. I've started a new doodle diary. I've got, let's see, how many have I got so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the 6th one. They vary in size and different papers. This one was just, I think this might have been from Indigo Blue, but it's just a fairly reasonable heavy paper in there. This one was just a little sketchbook, but again it's got reasonably heavy paper in there. Some of the other bigger ones were again sketchbooks. Most have cartridge paper or watercolour paper in. This particular one that I've just started is from Sea White of Brighton. It's a UK company and it's got cartridge paper in it. As you can see, it's a reasonably heavyweight paper. I'll show you a few of the pages I've completed so far. There's this one, the pink and green. Just make sure we're still in shot. Come back a little bit. This one, I've used some of the doodles already, so I've cut part of the page away and I've made these tags with the doodles on. The next page again, I've cut part of it away because I've used some of the doodles on. Just get my journal out. On this page here, they're just here. They're just sort of an accent. They're not the focal point, which is this girl here. So that's that page. This is the last one I've completed with smaller flowers on with darker centres. You can basically do whatever design you want because they're your doodles. Mine tend to be, I go in phases of doing less petals, more petals, leaves, whatever. I'll show you the pen I usually use. For the ones where I don't want the shading, I use a Micron pen. I have some other non-permanent black pens and I use those sometimes to doodle and then add watercolours or infusions or whatever, and the ink bleeds in and it gives it a bit of a shading, which is quite a nice effect. But this one I'm just doing with the infusions and a permanent pen, which is a Micron. This is a 0.3. I've done, let me just make sure I'm in shot again. Yes, I am. I've done 5 of the flowers already so that it was quicker. And hopefully you'll be able to see how I do this without getting my hand in the way. Basically, it's a circle and then whatever amount of petals you want. So you get the idea. It doesn't matter if some lines are thicker than others because you'll go over more. I'll do a few more smaller ones just at the bottom of the page to fill it up. But basically you get the idea. I won't continue because it'll just take too long. So that's with the Micron pen. I've then got my infusions. For these I'm going to use a bit Jaded and Golden Sands. They're both PaperArtsy Infusions, available from all PaperArtsy stockists mostly. They're wonderful things. They've got walnut ink and pigment as well in them, so they're coloured stains, and when they're completely dry they are permanent. So I'll put that pen over there just for the moment. I've got 2 different sizes of brushes. Might even get another one out. I might get a bit bigger one as well because they're quite big flowers, but go with the size of your flowers. I've got my infusions, which I've diluted with water. They're quite a loose fluid sort of colour. They're not really, really strong because I don't need really strong colours. So this is the Golden Sands. These are actually out of my spray bottles because I make sprays out of my infusions in water and put them in spray bottles. So these are out of theirs, but you can just put your little infusions in the well, add water, mix it up well, and you're ready to go. And you don't need that many infusions to make a good colour. So basically, because this is a reasonably heavyweight paper, I can add quite a lot of water onto the flowers, and I keep a different brush for each colour. So that's my gold one, and then I'm just going to add in every so often, just randomly, if I've got any white spots, I put a little bit of the green in, and I just let it flow. It'll just mix and flow like watercolours do, really, basically. So if I've got too much water, I'll just dry my brush up on the cloth, pick a bit more water up, and so it hasn't got absolutely tons and tons of water. You want a reasonable amount for it to sort of flow into as you can see, it bleeds into the other colours, which is what I wanted. And you can be as random or precise as you want. It'll sort of do its own thing. So I'll quickly do these, and then you can see how they all end up completely different. And you can see I pick a bit of the moisture and the colour up from the other petals. Swap to my other brush. This one I'll just go round the circle, around the outside. See what effect that gives. That's quite pretty. I do like the randomness though. So I won't bore you with colouring all of these. I'll just finish this one. I'll turn the camera off, dry them when I've finished them all, and then we'll see the next step. Doesn't matter if you go outside the lines like that. You'll see in the next stage that doesn't matter. So I think I'm quite happy. Maybe just a bit of green around there. So as I say, I'll finish the others. I'll probably fill these spaces with small ones and finish them. Dry it, and then we'll come back for the next stage. Right, so we're back. This is completely dry. I've just put my heat gun on it to dry it, and so there's no moisture left at all, I think. Now this it's not a permanent fine liner, but it doesn't run very much if it gets moisture on it. I've ruined my thinnest Micron pen, which I would normally use, so I've reverted to this one. So you get the idea. So we've got our doodle, we've got our coloured petals, and we're just going to go roughly, but not exactly the same, over the lines. So you get like a frilly edge. It's quite easy. Muscle memory. If you go down sort of a couple of times, it doesn't matter. You're just wanting a more sort of rough edge rather than a defined edge. Don't think about it, just go round. And as you can see, it transforms them to be something a little bit more artistic. But they're still obviously doodles. So we're going round, we'll go around the middle. You'll see I've coloured some of these the same, but then I've done some that are just with a bit jaded, and that's nice just to have those to mix in. We can do the same with the little ones, just go round, and it just defines them, but it also makes them more painterly and interesting. I'll just do a couple of these and then we'll do the last step. Well, it can be the last, it can be the last but one. And you can do leaves this way as well. You can do sort of oval, round groups of leaves, whatever you feel like. These 4-petaled flowers seem to be my favourite at the moment. I seem to be erring towards those, but in the past I've done daisies, all sorts of things. Right, so that's got the second layer on. Now you want some scrap paper. Let's have a look for a bit of scrap paper. I gather my under papers underneath here. I'm going to put that on the scrap paper. I do tend to also put one underneath the page, and then it doesn't get onto your under pages as well. I think we're still in shot. I have to keep checking to make sure we're still in shot. I don't want to be doing all this and it not be in the frame. Now we can go with either colour. We can go with the gold for the splashes, or we can go with the green. I think I might actually go with the green, so I'll just rinse my brush because it's the bigger brushes has been in the gold. Get a reasonable amount on your brush and then just splatter. Don't think about it too much, it will end up where it ends up. They'll be big, they'll be small, they'll be all sorts. I try and aim to get some in the middle because that does look nice. But it doesn't always work. And this is just with my normal paintbrush that I've been using. You can use a bigger brush if you want. You could also use a smaller one. I'll do a little with the smaller, see if it makes a difference. Not much. I'll just have a few more on that one, I think. And a few in the top one, in the middle. That's it, I want some splashes in the middle of my flowers. I just get a few little gold splashes onto my green ones. That's it. Right, so again I will just quickly dry that. I think that's dry. Just have a check. There's the odd little bit of wet, which I'll just mop up with just a bit of paper. Just mop it up. Yeah, we've got a few spots, but not many. Yeah, more or less dry now. So we'll remove that, and I'll use the rest of this infusions up either colouring more doodles, or you can make a background with the splatters, which I might as well show you while I'm on. My paper back again. I've got 2 tags here, and we'll do those. I'll have a bit bigger paintbrush this time for a bit bigger splatters. Get a reasonable amount on your paintbrush and then just splatter away. You can do big splatters, small splatters, a combination of. As you can imagine, this can get quite messy. Just wash it off and then get the green. Sometimes I wait while that's finished and dried and then go back with the second colour, but sometimes it's quite nice if you get some of the splatters that combine and you get a third colour when they combine. As in here, you've got a nice green. I always admire Alison Bomber's splattered backgrounds. They always look wonderful and they always look so good, and I always think, I wish I could get mine as good as hers. They're absolutely fab. So you get the idea. So we've got our tags, which I'll dry. We've got our flowers here, which we're working with. I can just move this out of the way and the tags out of the way slightly to a side. I can show you. This is optional. I don't always do this, but it's quite nice sometimes to do it. We'll work on this one here because I think you'll be able to see it the best. And I just go round little splatters with black ink. It just adds a bit of interest. And it's quite a nice contrast when you get the dark against the paler. So we're just outlining all the little splatters. I don't go to the nth degree. If there's minute ones, I don't always emphasise those, but you get the idea. It makes them a little bit more interesting. So I'll maybe do that one, this one. That's got some nice splatters in the middle. And which other one shall we do? We'll do this one up here. So he's got some nice splatters in there. So we've got, that's it. And if you think they look as if they need some more splatters on sort of a different area, you can almost make them up. You don't have to have a splatter to do a circle, because your eye will be tricked by the larger ones to thinking the others are green in the centre. So that's one style. I do also sometimes, if they're quite pale blooms, I'll just colour the centre in black. This is a brush marker, just a black brush marker. And if you just go in the middle, make the middle black, you get a completely different look. So you can see how dramatic they look now. So I've coloured these with the yellow middle, so I'll probably do these with the dark. Just to match the others. So you can see on one page we've got two different styles, which I think is nice. You can go back and you can add more detail in. You can have little dashes to give dimension. Like that. That's quite nice. Don't have to be perfect. The doodles, after all. There's the other one like that out there. You can also add little dots on the end as if they're stamens. Like that, that's quite nice, and some little dots in between. I tend to like little dots just scattered about, like that. You can go to town and put as much detail in as you want. So you get the idea, and then I would just, when I wanted some if I wanted these, I'd cut round there, but this edge would keep this page in until I wanted to use those or the others. You can just cut them out as you want. As I say, that I've just cut the bottom 6 off. That one I cut the bottom 6 off. But you've still got them in a book and they're still together, and then you can use them. Our tags aren't quite dry, but you're getting the idea that when these are combined with the tag, it'll be nice because it'll all coordinate. And I will probably ink the edges with a coordinating ink as well. If you think you want a bit more colour on your tags, you can give it a spritz with a spray infusion as well. I did that, I think, on these two that I've done. There wasn't quite enough, it was too white, so I just spritzed it with a bit Jaded on the top as well. So that covered more of the tag, but we still got the little splatters. What you can also do, if I show you on, running short of space as always, what you can do is get something like a little jar, dip it into the infusions mixture and put some marks on it like that, just sort of almost like coffee rings, and that looks quite nice. Or there's all sorts, you can just keep going and doing all sorts of things. So I'll just pop that over there and put you back to the doodles, and I hope you give it a go. Once these are dry, I'll finish these off so that you can see them. I thought I would just show you the results of the finished tags. We'll start with these two. These are made with the little flowers that were on the page, and the tags that I showed you how to create with the splatters. There's this one and this one. Now those have stamps from this set, EAB 40 by Alison Bomber. It's got this lovely grass and then the words. So I've used those on those two. The larger flowers are here on these. You can see the little speckles and everything, and those were the two tags that I'd created before with the similar colours. So these have got the darker centres and those have got the lighter. They have got stamps, these background little bits, and the words are from this stamp set, EAB 39 by Alison Bomber. Again, a PaperArtsy stamp set. So I stamped the foliage, stamped the words, and then just glued on the flowers. I did do a little doodly border round, and then just put some of the Golden Sands Infusions mixture and just went round the outside, just to give it a little bit of a border. And again, the same with these, a doodled border and then the Golden Sands round the edge. I will probably put these, sort of one of those and one of those together on a parcel when I'm gift wrapping them, because there's one that's quite dynamic and one just a little bit softer. So I've got two sets of tags. I've got the string that came with them, but it's not very thick, so I'll probably put something like this, some chunkier twine, maybe combining with some of this as well. I could dip this into the infusions mixture and colour it, which would be quite nice. So yes, I think I'll probably do that. So I'll dunk it in my infusions mixture and get it coloured. Could also do that with this. but we'll see, and then I'll take a picture when they're finished.